y'all in YouTube land? It's Gina Ask Me. How y'all doing tonight? So, this is my half of my video because we could not do it all in one. So, I'm coming at you live from my secret hideaway. I hope you guys had a positive, loving, spiritual day. If you didn't, I'm sorry, and I will pray for you to have a better day tomorrow. Today, subject is sexual assault, rape. It's my story, and then the other half is my daughter's story next week. It's a pretty odd, bizarre story, both our stories. They're sort of similar and sort of not. So, you guys already know about 4 times molested before 13, that's done. So, we're going to go all the way up to 15. I met a guy out of my sister's crowd, and we started dating. And we spoke about sex before we started dating, or when we first started, I can't remember. But I told him I'm nowhere near ready, and that, you know, that I would let him know. You know, we kissed and whatever, but when it went too far, I stopped it. So, Brenna. And, so he was okay with that. I mean, and the only reason, like I said, my mom and dad would let me date at 15 is because he did the come walking in the door, looked my dad right in the eye, shook his hand, Mr. So-and-so, I'm so happy to meet you, I heard so many good things about you. Went to my mother, kissed her on the cheek, it's very respectful in the Italian community. Sat down, right at the table, they offered him some wine, he drank some wine with them. Talked very maturely, very open, very Italian. And I know Italians are cliquish, clannish. They are. So they liked him, and they allowed it. And the only reason they even allowed it, even after that, is because he would pick me up from school, take me to work, or take me to church, drop me off. Sunday school, he would sit down and help me with my homework. He was, you know, he was an older boyfriend, and what parents are, you know, that's very unusual. From my dad, one time a guy came to the door to pick me up for a date, and I was all ready, and I was allowed, and my dad didn't like the way he looked and chased him literally back into his car and said, you know, chased him with I don't even know what he had, and chased him off our property. So I dated him, and we found love, and we had a blast, and we did everything together. You know, when you're not having sex, there's so much to do, so many places to go, and so much fun to be had, museums, parks, you name it, we did it. We used to go hang out with 2 other couples. One was my sister, who was her boyfriend at the time. My dad used to call them Fruit of the Loom guys. It was pretty funny. And my dad was the kind of dad that used to embarrass us. He'd answer the door in underwear, you know, up to here, and socks that come up to his thighs, and you know, he'd have his hair all sticking up, and he was crazy. So, anyways, so I dated him. 6 months went by. Everything was great. I was getting confirmed. I grew up Catholic, and that's a big deal. They were planning the party, and he was helping them. And so about 10 months went by. I already got confirmed. The party was great, and a year was coming up. And I still wasn't ready. That scarred me pretty bad, and I didn't think it did. I thought I could get over it and just stop, not think about it, and just keep myself busy, work, go out, have fun, whatever. And it bothered me more than I thought. So I certainly was not ready. And one night we went out, and we were making out, kissing, you know, messing around a little bit. Nothing major. And he said, you know, it's been a year, just about. I said, I know. I said, what kind of present am I going to get? You know, thinking he's fishing what kind of a present. Yeah. So, you know, we're just laying on the couch and snuggling and kissing, and I thought he was fishing for a present, and he was going a little too far, and I was getting a little uncomfortable, like that frog in your throat, like that anxiety, fight or flight syndrome that comes, you know, you feel uneasy. Well, I started feeling that, and I told him no, and stop it, and you know how I feel, and no. And he said, you know, enough's enough, you know, it's been a year, and he raped me, to make a long story short. So that was my first sexual experience, was rape. Any of you out there that's happened to? I don't have to tell you how it feels. Dirty. You feel like it's your fault. I did, because I wore low-cut shirts, and a year went by, and I hadn't, you know, had sex with him, and he used to call me a tease all the time. So, did I? Was I teasing him too much? You know, was I dressing too provocative? I didn't know. And so I blamed myself. I blamed myself for fooling around, going that far, and I didn't want to. And so, was it my fault? I don't know. But then I got older. And after graduation, I got out of there. I went to Florida. And I told you that on the first or second, you know, the physical abuse at home, and it was just all too much. My brain couldn't handle it. I had to get the hell out of Dodge. So you know, I told you I saved every penny. Florida bound I was, and I had the best time of my life. But the downside of being single, and I had a lot of money, was all that crap was still weighing down on my heart and inside of me, and I didn't know it. I just, you know, and I had lost the weight because I was riding a mountain bike to and from work, plus I worked double shifts at least 2-3 times a week. made so much money. I was a shooter girl, which they made all the money. And I started drinking and started experimenting with drugs because I had all this money, and I started going to the beach, big parties. I'm not going to tell you the drugs I used, but they weren't good. And I started becoming very promiscuous. I was looking for love in all the wrong places because I was getting compliments from men. I was getting told how pretty I was, my smile, my hair, everything. And who doesn't want to, what insecure, no self-esteem, no self-worth, 19, 20-year-old doesn't want to be told that. So I become very promiscuous and started experimenting with some drugs. There's a lot of things I did that I was ashamed of. I was sleeping with my drug dealer. That made me sick, literally sick to my stomach. And that's when I knew I'm going too far. And so I went and got a close friend and sat down and talked with her. And she really, really helped me. Talking it over, and the shame, it was so bad. I don't even have a word for it, because shame isn't bad enough. But I straightened out. I straightened myself out, and I still worked the 2 jobs. This time I saved my money. I stopped doing the crap. I mean, we went out drinking. That's all I did was drink. And the bar next door, called Our Place, I worked on the causeway right on the beach. Oh, it was beautiful. And Our Place was next door, so the whole entire restaurant, we'd get off our shift and we'd go to Our Place and we'd have a blast because we all loved each other. We just had like one big family. And that's when it really started to get fun, because I stopped all that crap. And I'm probably was drinking too much, but it was great. We had a blast. And we had a pool outside of our apartment. I'd go home from work sweating because, Florida, that humidity, oh, it'll kill you. And get my uniform off, put it on in dirty clothes, bathing suit on, and in the pool every day. It was fabulous. No matter what time, he could just jump in the pool. So I did have to get some help for it eventually, because it was just too hard. Ladies, this is why I'm telling you this personal story. Number one, I ran a group therapy where I worked, and one by one, I had the largest, most successful group therapy. The way I did it was with food and one person came, invited another, and it became so big. I had food every Wednesday, music, and we'd have different days, like makeup day. I was a massage therapist for 12 years before I got my degree, so I do massage days. These ladies were so good to me, and I was so good to them. And the more I opened up to them, the more they opened up to me. So I consider this group therapy. And the more I open up, and you know what I've been through, and how I felt, and how I healed, maybe I can help you. You know, leave some comments, questions. I can tell you this, I wouldn't have healed if I didn't have somebody to get it off my chest. It was like a building was sitting on my chest because I had these secrets that nobody knew, and I had to tell somebody. So, thank God for you, my friend in Florida, and I want to tell you, ladies, no means no once. After that, it's rape. Period. And end of story. And I want to also, please go straight to the hospital. Get a rape kit. It's all of 5 minutes, and then you can go home. I know you want to go straight home and just scrub this disgusting feeling off of you, but just 5 minutes, go get a rape kit so you can put this bastard away. Because nobody, no person, nobody deserves that. That's an invasion. They take something off of you you can't get back. And I'm not talking self-esteem. Anybody that this has happened to knows what I mean. So, I don't think you're ever the same. As time passes, you get over it. And I ask God to forgive me, and I know He did. And that's what's getting me through, got me through. And the rest of the story next week with my daughter is even going to be freakier and wild, because it's crazy. But I urge you all, the lesbian, bi, trans community, they're assaulted all the time. They're on the street, they're kicked out, it's horrible. They're abused. I don't care. I know it's embarrassing. I know all these things. But please, go to the hospital and get a rape kit, please. If you need numbers, crisis numbers, I have them. Just tell me the state you're in. I put up a how you can be anonymous on here, how you can, come on here anonymous, and then you don't have to have your name on, and you can ask me anything. If it's urgent, PM me on Facebook, Gina Kite. And that is only for emergencies. So, I made it short and sweet. I told you mostly, but there's more. We're going to tell you next week. But remember, this is never, it's never your fault. Never, ever, ever your fault. I don't care if you're married. I don't care who it is. It's never your fault. I don't care if you're walking around in a G-string. It's never your fault. Please, please tell somebody. Please get help. Any questions, put them in my comment list. Any emergencies, like I said, go to my Facebook page. And next week, we're going to have a similar video, only it's going to be with my daughter. So, what are we going to do? Peace and love. Maybe next week I'll have a glass of wine with you. Maybe put some music on and, you know, chill the mood a little bit. Make it a little lighter. So, y'all know I love you. And y'all know I care. And y'all know I'm here. Gina asked me. So ask me. Leave me some comments. Subscribe. Let's do this. Let's do this power of healing. We can, one of you can help 20 women if you come forward and you tell your experience. Peace and love. Love you.